What up guys, Gozen here for AnimeUproar, and today we're going to be talking about all of the members of the #1 ranked team in Black Clover, the Golden Dawn squad, and their interesting powers. If you want to see more Black Clover videos in the future, make sure to smash that like button to let me know. If you haven't, make sure to subscribe and ring that magic YouTube bell if you want to join the Black Bulls of YouTube, and in that case, Yami will make sure Finral teleports future Black Clover videos straight to your phone. As always, I want to hear from you. Let me know what kind of videos you are burning up to see in the comments, and you may see them soon. If you need even more Black Clover content, make sure to follow us on Instagram and Twitter at AnimeUproar. Quick warning, manga spoiler magic lies ahead, and now let's jump into the knowledge. We're gonna do this in alphabetical order, so let's start with Alecdora Sandler. He is extremely loyal to his captain, who came back to rescue him a few years ago when Alecdora thought he was gonna be left to die alone in a cave. Despite his undying loyalty for Captain Vangeance, Alecdora has a lot of pride and looks down on commoners like Yuno and Asta. He even insults Klaus and Mimosa, members of the nobility and of Golden Dawn, for being weak, so he's definitely not portrayed as a pleasant guy. Alecdora is a 4th class senior magic knight. If you didn't know, there are 5 magic knight titles, and within some of those there are classes. The 5 titles from lowest to highest are Junior Magic Knight, most of the Black Bulls fall under this category, then Intermediate Magic Knight, then Senior Magic Knight, then Grand Magic Knight, and then Wizard King. So, as you can see, Alecdora, the Senior Magic Knight, has an impressive title, especially compared to most of the Black Bulls. According to the data book, Alecdora scored a 4 out of 5 in physical strength, magic amount, magic control, and cleverness. He scored a 3 out of 5 in magic sensing, and a perfect 5 out of 5 in loyalty. So we have some solid scores there. Alecdora possesses sand magic. We see him use the spells Sandbox and Sand Armored Guard in an attempt to trap Asta, but Asta gets out of them with the help of his trusty anti-magic swords. He has an attack that drops a crushing amount of sand on top of the target, and the sand can effectively absorb water magic. One of his strongest abilities is his ability to summon a giant warrior of sand and infuse it with his greatest offensive and defensive magic, and have it attack his opponents, but Yuno is able to deal with the attack without even relying on help from Sylph, the Wind Spirit. Despite his high rank and solid statistics, Alecdora has not had any impressive victories in the series. He's not very strong when compared to Yuno and Asta, who could, at this point, both take him out in battle. Next up we have Hammon Cus, who is a 2nd class intermediate magic knight, so lower ranking than Alecdora. He too was there when Alecdora was insulting Asta, but significantly enough, he did not participate, suggesting that he is not as stuck up as most noblemen. Hammon is cheerful, and as you can tell by his size, he loves to eat. He even offers to share his food with Finral and Leopold, hoping to get to know them better. He scored a 3 out of 5 in physical strength, magic sensing, and cleverness, a 4 out of 5 in magic amount and magic control, and a 5 out of 5 in sensibility. Hammon possesses glass magic. He can cause many glass spikes to come out of the ground at once. In this case, he can impale many opponents simultaneously. Ironically, such a gruesome attack is called glass flower in French. Then there's also the spell that translates to glass sword, which is similar, but instead of spikes, glass swords strong enough to damage crystal shoot up from the ground. Hammon can detect where people or objects are over a wide area with his glass magic as well. When an elf takes over his body, he unleashes glass attacks at Asta and Yuno, but the elf is no match for the 2 would-be Wizard Kings. Following Hammon, we got Klaus Lunette, a 3rd class intermediate magic knight. Not gonna lie, Klaus is one of my favorite characters in Golden Dawn, and that has a lot to do with the change he underwent as a character. He starts off as a typical stuck-up nobleman type. He looks down at Asta and Yuno for being of a lower social standing than himself at the beginning. However, after he got to know their powers and personalities better during the dungeon exploring mission, Klaus grew very fond of Yuno and Asta. Later, when Klaus runs into Asta after the dungeon mission, he frets over him, making sure that he's alright and that his injuries are healed. When Alecdora is insulting Yuno and saying that he wasn't expecting much from a peasant like him, Klaus actually starts to defend Yuno, which shows how much his attitude has changed. Before, he placed a great emphasis on rank and social status, but now we find him trying to defend a commoner who was just insulted by a noble and higher ranking squad mate. Later on, during the Royal Knight's exam, Klaus even reveals that he looks up to Asta. Asta inspired him to train his magic, his body, and his spirit. According to the data book, Klaus scored a 3 out of 5 in physical strength and magic sensing. a 4 out of 5 in magic amount and magic control, and a perfect 5 out of 5 in cleverness and seriousness. Klaus possesses steel magic. He likes to create drills in battle. They are powerful and can easily break through walls. He can also use his steel magic to create armored walls that can block enemy attacks and chariots to drive people around in. Klaus's magic can work well in combination with other people's magic, like when he and Luck combine their powers to form the spell Lightning Arrow. It's definitely an OP spell, it's just too bad that Rill, the captain of the Aquadeer squad, was their opponent and sent the attack flying back at them during the Royal Knight selection exam. An elf-possessed Klaus was not strong enough to give Yuno and Asta any trouble, which shows that he is not that strong to begin with, at least when compared to more powerful characters. In short, he is not that strong, but I am nonetheless a huge fan of his character. Langris Vaude, the next member of Golden Dawn we'll be looking at, is the complete opposite. He is extremely powerful, but he is an unlikable character, at least in my view, because of how cruelly he treats his brother Finral, who is another one of my favorite characters. Langris is a first-class senior magic knight, and the vice captain of the Golden Dawn squad. His attitude can be summed up in what he says before the Royal Knights exam battle against Asta's team. He views most people as nothing but scum, and feels the need to constantly prove to others how special he is. As a kid, he was praised by his parents because he supposedly did everything better than Finral, especially when it came to attack magic. Ever since, he wanted to keep proving that he is superior to Finral at everything, and when that belief gets questioned, Langris gets extremely upset. He believes that if he is not superior in everything, his parents will no longer be kind to him, aka love him. The truth is though, because of Langris's arrogance and cruel treatment of others, Finral is better at making friends, which leads to Langris trying to kill him during the Royal Knight selection exam. Luckily, his friends Magna, Luck, and Asta stop Langris. When Asta tells Langris that Finral is kinder than anyone and a true magic knight, and that Langris, no matter how powerful he gets, will never be one, Langris tries to kill Asta next. To use Asta's words, there is definitely something wrong with Langris, and part of it may have to do with the fact that his parents made him feel like he could only be loved if he was perfect at everything, and that put immense pressure on him, since no one can live up to such expectations. According to the data book, Langris scored a 4 out of 5 in physical strength, magic amount, magic control, and cleverness, a 3 out of 5 in magic sensing, and a perfect 5 out of 5 in cold-bloodedness. Langris possesses offensive spatial magic, which allows him to teleport stuff out of existence. What he tends to do is create many orbs of spatial magic and then send them flying at the opponent. The orbs erase whatever they touch, but they can be stopped. For instance, anti-magic, other spatial magic, Yami's Dark Cloak Dimension Slash, and Jack the Ripper's slashes can all stop one of these orbs. Langris is extremely powerful, and after his body gets taken over by an elf, it takes the combined efforts of Yami, Jack, and Finral to defeat him without killing him. Like some others, including Luck, Langris might get a power boost after the elf leaves his body, but I really hope that he'll also become a better person too after seeing how much Finral risked to save him. Then we have Mimosa Vermilion, a 5th class intermediate magic knight and Noelle's cousin. Mimosa is another example of a noble who doesn't behave the way most nobles do. Other nobles insulted Noelle for not being able to control her magic and made fun of her for her hard work because it is generally believed that hard work isn't something royals should do. Working hard is associated with people who were born without power, and a lot of nobles consider it to be beneath them. However, Mimosa sees Noelle working hard and really respects her effort. While most nobles would look down at Asta because he is a commoner, Mimosa not only looks up to him, but even has a huge crush on him. She makes a promise to herself that she'll get strong enough to fight alongside her crush. Mimosa is all around a very nice person, but she can be slow and obliviously rude at times, as Noelle points out. According to the data book, her stats are as follows. She scored a 2 out of 5 in physical strength, a 4 out of 5 in magic amount, magic control, magic sensing and cleverness, and a 5 out of 5 in quiet. Her customized category. Mimosa possesses plant magic. She can use the spell Magic Flower Guidepost to create a 3-dimensional blueprint of a given area, allowing her to locate desired areas or people. Mimosa is perhaps most skilled in healing magic. The spell Dream Healing Flower Cradle is for less serious injuries, and she can create multiple flower cradles if she wants to heal multiple people at the same time. For more immediate and life-threatening injuries, Mimosa can use Princess Healing Flower Robes, which according to Mimosa is the best spell she has. She used it to save Noelle's life in the dungeon after Noelle received a serious injury. Mimosa has also developed great offensive spells. She can create a giant flower and pretty much fire a solar beam from it. Mimosa can potentially turn an enemy's own spell against them by planting a magic seed inside the spell. It takes time and can't be used on every spell, but she has used this move in the past to take control of Soul's Golem. Overall, Mimosa is a great character with very versatile magic. Although she doesn't stand out when it comes to strength, her interactions with Asta and Noelle are always a joy to watch. Next up we have Shiren Tiam, a first-class intermediate magic knight. Shiren shows up early in the series. He is chosen by William to accompany him to the Magic Knight's entrance exam. Shiren is a man of few words, the opposite of Asta in that sense, and when he gets promoted to his new rank by the Wizard King, Julius even tells him to talk more. However, at the same time, Julius compliments Shiren's magic, calling it eloquent. According to the databook, Shiren got a 4 out of 5 in physical strength, magic amount, and magic control, a 3 out of 5 in magic sensing and cleverness, and a 5 out of 5 in being a hard liner. He is a man who would not compromise his ideals, and I can respect that in a fellow man. Shiren possesses Geodude aka Rock Magic. His spell, Stone Model of the World, can create a 3-dimensional model of the noble realm. It even recreates the voices of people at the scene and their magic levels. Asta, Klaus, and Mimosa are very impressed when they see this spell in action, and Mimosa has to admit that the spell is much more advanced than her magic flower guidepost. Shiren has no issue taking out magic corpses with his rock magic. Although we didn't see it in action as much as I would have liked, Shiren is chosen to be a royal knight because of how useful his magic is. He is currently being possessed by an elf, so we might get to see him fight a protagonist in the near future, and if that happens, we'll hopefully witness some cool attack magic from him. And now we've come to the captain of the squad himself, William Vangeance, a man who unmistakably gives off Griffith vibes. He was born with a scar over the top half of his head, and as a result he was called a cursed child. He was the illegitimate son of a noble, and until he was 8, he lived in the Forsaken Realm where peasants live. However, after his father lost his true heir, William was taken in as an aristocrat. He had great magical power, and his world magic was viewed as a curiosity, but he nevertheless had a terrible childhood because the nobles hated his scarred face, and his father's lawful wife, his foster mother, badly abused him. He was saved from the nightmare by the Wizard King Julius, who wasn't bothered by his appearance. Julius loved his tree magic and urged him to join the Magic Knights. William was worried about his scarred face. Julius told him it was nothing to worry about, but since he saw it bothered William, he came up with the iconic mask that he wears to this day. William thought it was tacky, but he was nevertheless extremely touched by Julius's kindness and pledged his grimoire to his services. Obviously, he also shares a body with the elf Patri, who possesses light magic, but we won't get into that for this video since Patri is not technically a member of the Golden Dawn. If you want more info on him, I did cover Patri in more detail in my Captains and Their Powers Explained video and in my Midnight Sun video. According to the data book, William scored a 3 out of 5 in physical strength, a 4 out of 5 in magic sensing and cleverness, and a 5 out of 5 in magic amount, magic control, and charisma. As mentioned, he possesses world tree magic. In flashbacks of his youth, we can see that William could manipulate tree roots that he used to help him out with chores. In the beginning of the series, for the Magic Knight entrance exams, William also summons a giant tree that delivers broomsticks to the contestants. So far, we've seen 2 really impressive moves. In one case, William throws a seed at the opponent and it quickly grows into a big tree trapping the opponent inside. The other is the spell Great Mistletoe Tree, which takes time but can create a humongous tree over a large area, like that of a city, and trap many enemies within it at the same time. Although the magic he has used so far has been impressive, we've never seen William at 100%. He hasn't even broken a sweat, so I really hope we see him give it his all at some point in the future. Finally, we have our boy Yuno, a 5th class intermediate magic knight. Yuno was a crybaby as a young kid, but Asta inspired him, and eventually the two became lifelong rivals, each striving to become the next Wizard King. Although he also starts off as a poor orphan like Asta, he shows a ton of promise early on. He is always praised in the beginning, while Asta is being made fun of. But Yuno nonetheless has respect for Asta, and considers Asta to be his rival even before the Magicless Wonder unlocks his his 5-leaf Clover grimoire. I think Yuno is a very likable rival because he is also a nice guy, who would do anything to save Asta and provide for the other orphans from the church. Yuno scored a 3 out of 5 in physical strength, a 4 out of 5 in magic control and cleverness, and a 5 out of 5 in magic amount, magic sensing, and rivalry. Yuno possesses wind magic. He can send tornadoes, slashes of wind, or arrows of wind flying at his opponents. He can use his wind magic to form other things too, like a hawk, blades, or a ride for him and his team. What really took Yuno's powers to the next level was Sylph, the wind spirit. Sylph allows Yuno to use some of his most OP moves. For instance, the spell Sylph Breath is like a giant Rasengan, and it completely overpowers Catherine, a rogue witch from the Witch's Forest and a member of the Midnight Sun, that was giving Yuno a lot of trouble before Sylph showed up. Then there's the spell called Spirit Dive, which gives Yuno a cool new form that makes him look like the Fairy King. In fact, Yuno, Asta, Noelle, and Luck have awesome forms, and I really hope we see the OP captains get some new forms too. This spell allows Yuno to absorb and control the power of the Wind Spirit, which dramatically increases his own magical power. In this form, he uses an attack called Spirit Storm, which launches an extremely powerful tornado Kamehameha at the opponent. Using this attack, Yuno was able to meet an attack from Rill, a Magic Knight captain, with some of the most OP magic I've ever seen, and hold it back long enough for Rill to accidentally break his own crystal. Even being able to hold off such a powerful attack from a Magic Knight captain is impressive. But what's even more impressive is that Yuno wasn't on the defensive. He fully believed that he was going to win right up to the point where Rill broke his own crystal. What's really interesting about Yuno is the fact that he is supposed to get taken over by an elf too, but he simply doesn't. His ears get pointy and he has patterns on his face like the others, but he's completely himself. Elf-possessed Klaus attributes the fact that he stays himself to his extremely strong will. Nevertheless, despite how strong Yuno is, he couldn't do anything even with Asta's help against Licht, who seemed to effortlessly take them both out in their most powerful forms. I think we're gonna need some newer transformations for Asta and Yuno sometime soon, if they hope to stand a chance against Licht. After all, this is a shonen, so we can expect the new forms and attacks to keep coming. P.S. I want to briefly mention the unnamed Golden Dawn member who is possessed by the elf Kivin. We don't know her name or much about her, but we did see the elf use her magic a lot, so I'll briefly mention it here. The member possesses compass magic. She can summon compasses. But hold up, the power is actually way more useful than you might think because the compasses possess magic qualities that are extremely useful in battle. For instance, the spell Willful Compass allows her to redirect an enemy attack in the direction of the compass's needle. The spell that really messes with the Silver Eagle captain Nozel is Another Atlas, which disrupts the mana in a specific area. Because it disrupts mana, it makes magic, especially long-range attacks, difficult to control. However, the user of compass magic is not affected. While her opponents are struggling to use their magic, the magic compass user can fire compass needles at them, and obviously they're very accurate. Kivin actually catches Nozel, a Magic Knight captain, off guard, and gives him multiple wounds that take him out of commission for the rest of the fight. Noelle, in trouble now, realizes that long-range attacks are pointless while the spell Another Atlas is active, so she figures out another way to win. The closer the mana is to the person, the less disrupted it will be by Kivin's spell. So Noelle comes up with her new OP move, Valkyrie Armor. Noelle's new spell allows her to totally wreck Kivin. Kivin can't even deflect her attack with a compass, because in this form, Noelle can break through magic spells. In this way, Noelle defeated Kivin, but we didn't get to learn much about the female Golden Dawn member, who the elf used as a host. Perhaps we'll learn a bit more about this unnamed compass magic user later on in the story. There are even more members of Golden Dawn, but we don't have enough information as of now to include them in this video. Down the line though, if we get enough information on other members, I am totally open to doing an updated version of this video. And that is it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, especially those of you who requested it. Keep the requests coming in the comments. If you did like it and want to see more Black Clover content, give that like button a magicless smash. Make sure to subscribe and ring that magic YouTube bell if you haven't, so you don't miss new videos. If you just can't get enough content. You can also follow us on Instagram and Twitter at AnimeUproar for more. Fans of the channel can also get 25% off our Asta Work Hard Dream Big shirt by using Uproar25, so definitely check that out at AnimeUproar.com, link in the description. It's a great reminder for you to surpass your limits in real life, and you are supporting the channel at the same time. Anyways, that's it for today. Thanks again for all the love, and until next time, see ya, Space Cowboy.